we have to solve those exercises until here. Then you are almost able to solve the exercise number 6. I think first meningen in English as well. Now, there are some foresights and inner web, and here it is. You really want to know programming units. Any fool can write code that a computer can understand. Good programmers write code that humans can understand. This is why we need to comment every part we program. Every variable, every function, every file, every class, every array for other humans. And here is an image of a common misunderstanding. Some people tell, oh, my printer does not work, you are a programmer, come and fix it. But I am a programmer. I have no idea how your printer works. There are 2 medical students and there is a programmer student. People use programming to make the life easier, to automate some processes. And on the right side there are some commands. Usually they mark commands by 2 slashes. I hope that you never write the code so that you have to write a command like this. On the next slide there is also an automated process. This chain will be released, so here a piece jumps up, then the bird flies off. After that, here water will be poured into this bucket. Then the bucket will be heavier and it pulls this one here. This is a light match, so it ignites the rocket. It flies away, then it cuts through this ring, and then the clock starts ticking, and every second it wipes the mouth of the guy here. Here is an example where too many programmers want to do the same thing without knowing what other programmers do. They are making a soup. One is putting in fish without knowing what the ingredients there are already. In programming languages you can also create dynamic variable name and dynamic function name. To do that too often you screw up yourself, because if you have to go through your code later you just cannot find the name of that function that does not work, because it consists of 2 parts that are dynamically put together. Here's how to program. So first you Google for something, then most probably you'll find Stack Overflow, then you copy and paste. If it didn't work, go to step 2 again. If it still didn't work, then there is no solution. Then it is impossible. If you don't find any Stack Overflow code, this is for people who want to hack something without having any knowledge. Knowledge is very important in programming, because that way you decrease the searching time. And here, how to draw a horse. Here is about tech support. So Python is a programming language, and probably the customer did get the program that needed Python for running it, a Python script. Bad programmers do, oh, it works on my machine, but it's not well tested if it does not work on any other machines. Ops problem, ops operators. Program or an algorithm is an order of commands, or actually a program is an order of executing commands. So those humans are commands. We can imagine that every human here in this line performs a command. Actually, this is a real life situation that describes the education system, the mainframe education system, where every little guy in the system should perform a command, should get a job, and so on, so that the whole system works.
That's every education system, even IB is like this.
Yes, even IB is kind of mainstream. Also, we are encouraged to teach the really useful stuff here. Which is not the case in Polytechnicum. Photographers need to learn how to create websites and so on. They don't want to do it, but I have forgotten about the half of what I learned in math. But later, I still needed that knowledge, but it was too late. It would have been optimal to learn the stuff exactly when I need it for the first time, because then I am the most interested in it. Otherwise, I could not even imagine what it is for, what integrals are for, so if I do not measure any area of lakes. Here is about the bit. This is bit. This is false and true. Switch off, the result is false. Switch on, it is true. Note or 1, the engine of the bridge. Here's a comparison of different languages. HTML is a layout language, not a programming language. That's why it's a flower pot. And in Unix shell, there are those permission things for reading, for writing, for executing, and for C++. That's why some people suggest learning C++ first, because you have to do a lot of things there. It is a pretty low-level language in that sense. In Python import. In Java is import and C is import as well. In assembly you have to define everything. Actually, you have to define everything that is not natural. For instance, there is no such thing as money naturally. And if you use that word inside of your algorithm or rule, you have to define what it is using the terms of the nature. And in C, of course, if you forget the null terminator, it goes drrrr. Yeah, there's another comics, how to rescue a princess. And the one who rescues using C language rescues not only princess, but everything that princess has eaten the whole lifetime and all the stuff princess had, so everything. And LaTeX is a layout language. And here's an image about the programmer and his girlfriend, but the girlfriend is not a programmer as well. It's the same thing in tennis.
Calm down, people. The world is ending soon, but still calm down.
Preferences. Editors, text editors. Where is it? So, here, configure visibility. So here's the list of white spaces. A space. What is an ideographic space? Have you seen it somewhere? This is a non-breakable space. Then tab, carriage return. What is a carriage return? Have you ever seen a typing machine? You draw in the paper, then you type, and the paper goes to the left or to the right, and then you do the carriage return. You write from left to right, then it should go to the left. For Windows machines, Bill Gates still wanted to use carriage return as well. And my father also asked a question as I introduced to him how to create a paper document inside a computer. So he had never used a computer, and I opened Word. That times I used Word. And then he started to type, and he was almost at the end of the first line, and he asked how to change the line. There is no carriage return or something manual, so I just told him, just go on and type, you see what happens. So automatically it went to the next line. If you press enter in Windows, it puts carriage return and line feed. Carriage return is shift the paper to the right, to the beginning, and line feed is draw the paper so that you can start a new line. In Windows, carriage return a new line, and in Unix there is only line feed. There is no carriage return because we don't need it. And here is also part where we can choose which one to use, either Unix or Windows. If you use Windows, it puts 2 characters per line feed. For Unix it only uses 1. So if you install Eclipse on Windows, the default value is Windows here. What is at the end of every line? Half colon. For Visual Basic, only if you change the line, it recognized it.